This video deals with how to track multiple assignments in Infinite Campus for career and life skills. So obviously the first thing you want to do is sign into Infinite Campus. Once you are in Infinite Campus, go to Gradebook. Once you are in your gradebook, the first thing you will need to do is you will need to set up a category for career and life skills. So click on categories, click add, give it a title, and I'm just going to go CLS. I'm going to have it apply to all of my sections except for study hall and flex, and I'm going to give it a 0% weight. Once I've filled in those details, click save. So now that I've created a category, the next thing you will need to do is you will need to go to Grade Calc Options. In Grade Calc Options, you need to do this for every single class, but I'm gonna switch classes just so you can see one that I haven't filled in already. So in Grade Calc Options, you need to make sure you go to the Fill Options. You're going to pick your standard or just leave it as all. And if you leave it as all, what I'm gonna show you is you don't get the option that you need. So you need to actually pick your standard. And now what you see pop up is this proficiency estimate rubric. You want to select that. And now you need to select your method. You have multiple methods to pick from decaying average, which means their most recent counts towards their score the most. And it kind of makes the earlier scores less meaningful. You could do the mean, you could do the most recent, you could do the mode, you could do highest score, or you could do power law. After talking with Mark, if you're going to use mode, you can use mode, that's fine. Mode means that the score reported is going to be the most frequent one. Now, Mark did say to try and make sure you get 3 pieces of evidence then for each career and life skill. Now that you've clicked and filled in those boxes, you can click OK and then click Save. So I did this for things critically and creatively, so I need to then make sure I do Grade Calc Options, Fill Options again, and I need to make sure I do my next standard, fill in the same boxes. And then I think I have one more to do. I don't know if I did the last one before. And now I've done it for all 3 standards for my 5th hour chemistry class. Now at this point, what you can do is you can add an assignment. So let's say I'm talking about turned homework in on time, unit 1. Okay, I can add it to all my classes. Make sure my category says career and life skills, so CLS. And now here, let's say I think it applies to the career and life skills, thinks critically and creatively. I don't think it applies to that, so I'm going to change it to acts responsibly and respectfully. And then I'm also going to add it to communicates effectively and works collaboratively, because in science we collaborate on labs. So now I can click Save and then Close. And what you will see when I toggle to acts responsibly, I now have an assignment. Because I put it in career and life skill number 1, I also put it in career life skill number 2. That assignment is there. Now I'm going to go back to the first one, and I'm just going to give them a score, just random scores for now, so you can kind of watch the process. Okay, so I'm going to click Save. I'm going to add another assignment. I'm just going to do assignment 2. Okay, same thing. I'm going to add it to all my classes, if that's what you want to add it to. I'm going to just leave it in acts responsibly. I have the category of career and life skills. I'm going to click save and now close. Now I'm kind of working backwards now, and you see in this first one, this doesn't have a score anymore because I have mode selected. Mode means the score most often appearing. But because in the second students here, there's a 2 and a 2 stays. But if I change that to a 2, okay, you can kind of see the process that's taking place depending on what the score is. So if you don't have multiple scores in there, it can't do the mode until you get at least 3 assignments in. So now I'm going to put in assignment 3. Okay, add it to my classes again. Career and life skills, the correct grading standard, click save. And now let's say all of a sudden this kid gets a 1 on this. And now you see a 1 appear here because there's 2 1s and a 3. And now I put a 3 in for the second kid, but a 2 appears because the 2 is the most often one seen. And you can kind of see what's happening to the scores from there as you enter it. And then click save. So now if you notice that I did it this way for acts responsibly and respectfully, if we go to standard 2, I would have to go in and fill the scores in for this. The scores don't transfer over from one standard to the next, so you are typing it again. If this is the way you want to track, so you have an electronic tracking instead of maybe pieces of paper on your tracking, or depending on how you're tracking, this is another way that you can track career and life skills. The last thing is if you hover over the student, so I'm hovering over Tyler right now, if you look, it gives you the different method breakdowns of Tyler. So the first thing you see is the power law trend of 2.25. The highest score that you see is a 1. The mode is a 1. The highest score you see should be a 3, but that's okay. The mean is a 1, and then the decaying average is a 1, meaning the most recent score is a 1. So if you want to kind of play with your method that you are going to use if you're doing this, this would be a way to kind of see the breakdown for all the different method types that are available in IC. If you have questions about this, please feel free to let Nathan or myself know.